Hello, Isaiah here with Ask Cheeky, and I have a special question today. I love this question. This is from Azah Kubur. Azah says, my job search is very painful. What can I do about it? I've received many questions like this. Another question that I got about 2 days ago said, hey, my job search is torturous. And that's what gave me the inspiration to answer this question today. So your job search can seem torturous as a PhD. I understand this. It is very challenging to do. It can feel like everything is backwards, especially after getting out of academia. Right? In academia, you are taught that everything you put on paper is enough. You're taught that a letter of recommendation from your PI is enough. You're taught your publications are enough. Now you have to execute a job search where you have to perform. This performance is what's painful to most PhDs. So I've narrowed down, I'm actually writing a blog about this because I think this is a great topic. I'm writing a blog and I'm going to share it here first. The 3 most torturous parts of any PhD job search so that you can understand and set the right expectations. What's going to be painful? What are you going to have to overcome? Did you ever notice how let's say you work in a lab, right? You have negative data for months, and then you finally get a positive piece of data that gives you a reference point that you're either on the wrong direction or the right direction. That reference point energizes you. So what I want to do is give you a reference point here. If you can set proper expectations, you can power through these torturous or painful parts of your job search. Number 1, networking is torturous, especially for PhDs. We think for some reason that people should be able to move forward in their careers without having to talk to other people or network. But this isn't even true in academia. What is true in academia? Well, the biggest labs, the biggest departments, the people that rise to the top, they're not doing the best science or engineering. They're not the best technically. They're the most well-connected. This has been proven over and over again, even in peer-reviewed journal articles. It may not be fair, but it's the way of the world. Human relationships matter. You need to power through and get job referrals anyway. If you break this down and make it very small, I have found it becomes easier. How do you do this? Number 1, set a small target for 2 new contacts or 2 follow-ups per day, just during the weekdays to start. Get a spreadsheet, keep track of who you're reaching out to, find people working at the jobs you want to work at or people connected to those working at the jobs you want to work at. Put their names in the spreadsheet so you can follow up with them later and you actually can keep track of your progress, but just reach out to 2 of them per day or follow up with 2 per day, but 2 total. That's it, just during the weekdays. At the end of the first week, that'll be 10 people. At the end of the first month, it'll be 40 or more people, okay? Just follow up, reach out. This is a new habit, right? You have new goals now. You have the goal of transitioning into industry, but your habits need to catch up. This is a very small, easy to implement habit. A lot of research in behavioral psychology shows if you want to start a new habit, don't make it a big habit, right? You want to start going to the gym, don't have a new workout program, a new diet with like 30 exercises and the hardest diet ever. You're never going to do that. That's why most people's resolutions from the beginning of this year, they're gone, they've crumbled. Instead, make it a mini habit first, or a micro habit, or atomic habit, whatever. That's all just buzzwords. Make it small and simple. 2 people per day. And expect that you're going to get a referral from them. Expect that you're not going to find a job that's going to hire you from a posting online. Expect that uploading your resume is not going to be enough to get you hired. Number 2, the second thing to do, the second most torturous part, expect your job search to flounder until you get something on paper. Until you have an actual strategy, a plan that you put down on paper and start to execute, you're not really looking for a job. Doesn't matter how much you think about the job you want. Doesn't matter how much you want the job. None of those are actions. That's not execution. You need to create a plan, a strategy, and I have a simple way to do this, okay? Again, another small habit to start. Get a spreadsheet, 5 columns, an Excel file. First column is all the companies you want to work with or would be willing to work for. Second column is all of the job postings or the job titles at those companies that you'd be willing to work for, especially because most companies have slight variations in job titles. So until you know what they call that job at that company, you don't even have a target. You can't hit a target you don't set, no matter how much you think about it or desire it. Third column, your contact list from the first thing I just talked about, right? The network. The contacts that you've connected with or plan on connecting with at those companies. How do you find all this? It's all publicly available on LinkedIn. The third column, the next time, or the last time you followed up with that contact. The fifth column, the next time you're going to follow up with them. So again, the first column is the company. Second column is the job title or the job posting. Third column is the contact. Fourth column is the last time you contacted them. The fifth column is the next time you're going to contact them. If you contact people once a week, especially if you're using our scripts where you're just adding value, and we have a methodology for doing this in the Cheeky Scientist Association, nobody's going to get mad at you. As long as you're not saying anything passive aggressive like, just seeing if you got my last email. Don't do that. Add value. Go to cheekyscientist.com. You can download our 40 networking scripts guidebook for free, so you have these scripts ahead of time. The third most torturous part of your job search is going to be likability, right? Making a good first impression. We hate doing this. We just want to talk about facts, logic, ideas, credibility, accolades. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. Most hiring managers, most recruiters don't have PhDs, okay? They deal with emotional intelligence, right? They deal with your behavior. That's why they ask you behavioral questions. They want to see if you're a jerk or not, okay? They want to see if they can stand being around you for 8 hours a day. You don't like this, right? They're like, oh, this is ridiculous. I should get hired because I'm really good. I'm very competent. Doesn't matter. Now, there's outliers. If you're the best brain surgeon in the entire world, yeah, you can probably be a jerk, okay? Your extreme level of competency makes up for your likability. But you, as a PhD who maybe has published papers at best, sorry, your competence level, especially if you don't have industry experience, isn't high enough to where you can't be likable. They want to know if you can fit in with their company culture, their current team. They have a prized possession already, their current company, their current team. They do not want the pain of that being disrupted. They would rather not hire you than even risk at the smallest level disrupting their team. So you have to make a great first impression. You have to be likable. You have to work on your professional brand. You have to study interview questions. You have to watch videos like this, learn, train, get around people that are more positive and are not critical of everything and everyone like most of the people you're around in academia. Why? Because we went from being critical of our data or work or information to being critical of people. Get away from people like this. Get away from that mentality. This is the only way to get hired in industry, is overcoming these three torturous parts of your job search. Hopefully this helps. If you want to learn more about how to get hired in industry, go to phdsgethired.com, phdsgethired.com. Hopefully this helps. Hello to Sabine. Good to see some of you watching live. Cornelia, good to see you on too. Zia, Sonisa, Mohammed, David, Jitanjali, thank you all for watching. Remember your value as a PhD and start thinking and acting like a successful industry professional.